Okay, so after the actions are assigned to the connectors, now we would have to activate the BC sets that are required for BRM, okay, the business role management tool. So SAP has given you 5 BC sets which are related to BRM. Okay, what are those 5 BC sets? So those 5 BC sets are GRC role management landscape, methodology, prerequisite type, GRC role status, and then sensitivity. Okay, so these BC sets are provided to simplify, it's to simplify configuration and value population, the master data in the GRC system. Okay, so how do we activate these BC sets? Right, so the transaction code for activating BC sets we know is let's go out of IMG. The transaction code is SCPR20. Okay, execute SCPR20, and then let's go and search for GRC. Okay. So you have about 32 BC sets related to access control. Okay, 32, and these 32 include BC sets required for ARA module and EAM module tool, as well as BRM tool, as well as EAM tool. Okay, so these 5 BC sets that you see: role management landscape, role methodology, role prerequisites, role status, and role sensitivity. These are the 5 BC sets that you need to activate for BRM purposes, okay, for using the BRM tool. So let's pick the role management landscape and activate, okay. So what does it do? So prompts you for a transport request, put it in, and then in the activation options, select expert mode, and it would sometimes give you activation ended with warning, which is okay, or it will say an activation success was successful, or. So what does, for example, what does this BC set do, right, when activating this BC set? So activation of this BC set loads data with respect to the business roles for a in the landscape, okay, and the data that this BC sets brings into uh, the system is stored in a table view called, so let us go to SM30, in a view called v underscore grfn con grp. Okay, let's see what this one shows. So you have the connector groups, right? So you get that. We'll see another one, okay? And what is the other table that you can have? So GRAC, what's that? Con GRP stat. Okay, so this is one way of, if you don't know this, okay, something is wrong. Com Okay, this is not the table. Well, let's figure that out later. So, but anyway, so the thing is, you can also find what this data, what data comes in, um, and what table it goes into from the activation log. So if you go to display overall view, basically tells you this is the table, okay, where the master data comes in. So this table, let's go quickly copy this table and we'll have a quick check. What we probably mistyped something. Okay, so the other thing is, okay, so it's a table, right? Okay, so that's the mistake we made. It's a table, so we cannot use SM30, so we have to go to SA16. Okay, so let's go there. And if you execute, you'll get the connector groups and whatever it brings in, okay? All right, so that's one thing, right? And the second thing what we saw is this, the view. Okay, and then the entry has two languages, for two languages. So this one, this BC set basically brings in, loads the data with respect to business roles. Okay. All right. So what is the next? Let's take the next one. Okay. GRS search. Let's search for GRS again and continue. And let's check this one, methodology. Okay. And click on activate. Same steps. Activate. It prompts you for a transport request. If you had created one, you use that and select export mode and continue. Again, if you see activation successfully completed, when you click the log, you will see what data it brought in, okay? Brings in the different default methodology. We'll see that when we configure methodologies, okay? And after some time, we'll see that. And the table, this is the path that you need to follow. And this is a table where it is saved. This data is saved in this table. Okay, and there are 7 steps, right, for methodology. And those 7 steps are mentioned here, and what are those 7 steps in different languages is mentioned in this table, gracv underscore step. So description of those 7 stages of role creation, role management is specified in this table. Okay, so activation of this BC set, this one, methodology BC set, basically loads data related to role methodology, process and the steps. Okay, what is the third? Let's go to the third one now. What is the third step that we have? Okay, so again, GRAC underscore asterisk. And now let us select the third one, which is prerequisite types. Select this, activate, expert mode, and activation is completed. So what does this do? This BC set basically creates the data that are needed as role prerequisite types, such as training or certification, whatever, right? So let's check the log and see what data it brings in. Okay, so the data is stored in gracv underscore pre-rec type table view. Table basically is a table, and it brings in certification, non-disclosure agreement, and training types. Okay, if you have anything customized, you want to create your own prerequisite type, you can do that in a Pro transaction. Okay, this is all what SAP gives you, but you can create your own prerequisite types also. Okay, so let's go back. And now let's take the fourth one. Role status. Okay, so let's do the same steps again. Activate, put it in a transport, expert mode, select, activation successful. So what does this do? So this BC set activation basically helps you describe whether the system is a development system, or the role is in development or production or testing status. Okay, so if you have any other status, on hold or whatever, you can define your own in customization, and that data is going to be stored in this table, gracv underscore role status. Okay, and if you see, it's maintained in different languages here. So dev, production, and test. So basically, you can specify the role status, whether it's in development or production or testing stage status. Okay, and now let's look at the last BC set, which is required for BRM. Select and search. And let's go and search for the last one is sensitivity. So let's click on send that and then activate. Transport request, export mode, and continue. Activation successful. So what does this do? So let's take a look. So go to overall view. And if you look, you can define, it brings in the role sensitivity, types, okay, whether it's normal or is classified or restricted, that kind of thing. So you have something called, let's say, confidential, okay, which is same as classified, right? So you can create your own too in while doing customizing. We'll see what it is, where we do that, and this data, the role sensitivity data, is stored in gracv underscore rl sense. Okay, so this table contains this data. Okay, and this is the path. For example, in every BC set, you'll have, if you're able to customize it, it will give you the customizing path. So under access control, you go to role management and define role sensitivity. That is the path to go to define your own, customize your own role sensitivity options. Okay, so now, like I said, you can manually do it, but these 5 BC sets are required for BRM.